Good morning. Just pulled into work. In a pretty good mood. Actually had a weekend off. It was nice being able to spend that with my wife, and my family. Uh, Still tired though, still early. Well, not necessarily early, but I mean it's 5:40. I've been up since 2 o'clock. Got pretty good morning. Had a healthy breakfast, exercised, got all the plants uncovered because the temperature got to 32 degrees last night. And they say it's in the middle of springtime, right? Soda is just ridiculous. Uh, Hopefully today will be just not, you know what I mean? Not here's all the problems and I get them a little bit here and there. Because being away for just a day really takes a toll. Because apparently I am the only one that can figure out certain problems. And I understand being like a lead or in a supervisor position, it's part of the territory, part of the job. And I understand that it is easier for people to be lazy and not think for themselves to figure out problems, but I don't get paid enough to figure out everybody's problems. Like, I expect things to be handled when I'm not there, especially when I leave instructions and what to do and if this, then this, you know what I'm saying? But, yeah, it's going to be a nice day. Weather's going to be good. Hopefully, we're not going to get any more nasty weather because it was pretty cold yesterday. It wasn't pleasant. As soon as as soon as it turned noon, the temperature just dropped, and it just wasn't that fun. I couldn't even find any geese. I like feeding the birds at the park when I'm in town, because it's just part of the whole human thing. There's things you can do in town that aren't distracting from your naturalist side. You don't have to necessarily go on a 9 mile hike, to to decompress. It's just my preferred way of doing it because you get the exercise. Two, you're gonna, I feel rested, and then three, I'm alone. I like being alone. I need, everyone needs some time for themselves, and a little bit of introversion is not a bad thing. Uh, there's definitely a limit that it should be taken to. You can't be a total introvert, otherwise it's very difficult. Just being around people in general, unless it's for selfish reasons, and it's not fun being that person. I've been that person before, so if you are an introvert, try to work on it some. I'm not saying be a social bee, but you know, ease up. Start thinking about being a little bit more empathetic to people, and you know things might change better for you. Because chances are, if you're lonely, you're maybe a little bit too introverted for a lot of people. Just looking at the trees, we have a lot of flowering, Bradford pears, and the pollen is getting to me some. I'm a little stuffy. I'm not sick. It's just all the pollen. A lot of evergreens up here. It's basically the only thing that really thrives that isn't a birch tree or an aspen tree. There's not really much tamarack unless you go out in the wilderness, because the loggers kind of took most of those. It's a sad thing. Human human greed unchecked, what it can do. There's not really any old forests left anymore in the world, especially in our neck of it. And I mean, I'm not a tree hugger, but preserving the environment is important. That should be a given. Like, best way to help preserve it is, don't litter, clean up after yourself. You know what I mean? Like, simple stuff like that. Stuff you're supposed to do just as part of your daily life. You know what I mean? Like, don't go behind someone and clean up their mess. Approach that person and say, hey, clean up your mess. Because those are things that should have been taught in us. And there's a lot of trash in town. People are pretty freaking lazy. I work with people that leave their trash all over the place, and they work there. It's insane. It's insane. It's Mom, teach you manners. But anyway, that's just a pet peeve thing there. Trying to think of how to effectively use my time when I do have some to myself. Not really sure. The weather is going to allow it more frequently, where I get to go out more and actually be a human. But will I have the day off to do it? And it's been on my mind a lot about work, corporations, companies, jobs, how we're taught to think about these places. And when your nation's controlled by companies, you're going to be governed in a way where these companies are the ones that benefit, right? And they'll use the moniker of, well, it makes cheap, reliable goods, so us as brainwashed consumers can get stuff. And yes, that is true. However, the pay, what you sacrifice for that, is time, leisure, belonging. Your identity becomes work. And then you lose in the fog of this established reality the path you want to take, because you fill it with just junk. You fill it with things you don't need. Literally, metaphorically, you take things with you you don't need. So and so at work. My boss is that stuff. Burden. That's what that is. That's what burden is. Burden is something that you take with you mentally, emotionally. It weighs you down from the inside. That's burden. That stuff isn't taught, like how to let that stuff go these days. And the solution is the consumerism side of it. You fill it with buying things you don't need and all this junk food and all that stuff, or paying somebody to tell you things that make you feel good. Therapists. I'm telling you, most of us do not need a therapist. You need a change in lifestyle. You need to do some introspection, look into yourself, and find the things that are causing you to be in your state of mind. It's not another person's responsibility, and that's why it's so expensive. If I had to do the thinking for somebody, I would charge some money for it, because I'm telling you, that is a lot of responsibility to take on. And a lot of these therapists fell for that scam of college so they can get that piece of paper that says they know stuff. So they have to pay that debt off, plus the cost of living. They're also humans. So, you're going to pay. save yourself some money. You know, that save yourself. It's up to you to figure that out. There's no way around it. It's like a diet, getting in shape. There's no cheaty way to do it. You can't take a magic pill or a shot to get in shape. No, you need to change your whole lifestyle. You need to warp your whole perception on what food is, on what nutrients are, on what hunger is. I've been hungry before. I've been without food for 7 days. I don't understand how Jesus did it. I mean, 40 days of no food. That's insane. I don't know if I'd be able to do that, you know, voluntarily, for sure, no. But 40 days, that is a strong man right there. So if there's any topic to this video, I would say do some introspection. Look into yourself. Sift through, pan out what you don't need and dump it in the water, let it flow away. Wash yourself. Move on. So you can be happier, so you can be stronger, so you can be calm, so you can be prepared for the next thing, the next step, and not have that burden of worry, the weight of all those past things. And it's kind of like baptism in a way, I guess. But anyway, I'm gonna have to head in now. Have a good morning, everybody. If things don't go well, just let it go. Don't take it with you. Have a good day. All right, bye-bye.